Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
Okay, let's go to some breaking news. Sky 2 is live over a pursuit that is now in Tarzana.
And Stu Mandela's overhead in Sky 2 on top of this, Stu.
Well, they're looking at it right there. Now they're basically going westbound 101 freeway, just passing Topanga Canyon. This pursuit coming out of the Pasadena area. Pasadena PD has been in pursuit of this vehicle, described as a Tahoe. Apparently there's been some sort of domestic problem with the person driving that vehicle, described as a female, and possibly may have tried to cause injury to another family member. But when officers from Pasadena PD got behind that vehicle, she got on the freeway and took off. This has been going on for quite some time now, basically running through the Valley area. Right now we're still trying to catch up in Sky 2. Right now this vehicle moving about 80-90 miles an hour along the 101 freeway. We're basically getting out of the Topanga Canyon area, and we're going to be working our way into the Calabasas area. By the time we get to Calabasas, we'll be pretty much right over it. Now LAPD does know about this. California Highway Patrol is getting involved in this right now. Pasadena PD was the #1 or the lead agency. They had their helicopter overhead. That's who's giving us that light. That's going to be an airship. They call that Pasadena 100. Now this has been going on for a little bit. You can see that vehicle now a little bit better, and those officers still pursuing it. That Tahoe is a pretty big vehicle. V8 apparently, like I said, we're just getting information, nothing confirmed yet, but possibly some sort of domestic violence involving the vehicle, and the driver was the one that was creating these issues. There was calls made to the Pasadena PD. They saw that vehicle, and the pursuit has been on. It's basically staying along here on the 101 freeway, worked its way from the 210, 134, and then onto the 101, and now we're working our way out in the Calabasas area. You can see traffic kind of light out here this evening. That vehicle moving about 80-85 miles an hour. Officers from the California Highway Patrol now joining Pasadena PD as they're trying to get this vehicle to stop. Right now, all they can do basically is stay in trail, keep an eye on this vehicle, and hope nobody gets hurt.
She has a number of avenues, of course. She can take a number of exits even before she gets to the 23 if she wants to get off on another freeway. And it's interesting because sometimes even on a Friday night they are doing construction, or they might have 1 or 2 lanes closed, but that does not seem to be the case tonight.
Well, Pat, you know this area because we're passing a lot of vehicles out there, a lot of stop traffic coming up ahead. You can see some of those flares, some of those lanes taken away. This person said to be in not the best mental state. You can see some of that construction you just talked about right there, some of those big trucks. I can tell you there's a lot of slowing coming up. It's going to get very, very tight up here for that vehicle. Now, those California Highway Patrol officers, they're going to be concerned about the other people out there on the roadway, and also construction workers. If they have people out on the roadway doing work, there we go, getting into those lanes. This is the problem. And you know, this is going to be very dangerous for any of those workers out there. California Highway Patrol, lights and sirens, they're making as much noise as they can. Some of those slower trucks out there, hopefully there's not going to be any workers or any kind of open trench out here that's going to create a problem.
You know, I take this road on my way home, and there is an active construction site at night there, as that may end up kind of pinching them into the left-hand lanes as we're watching this live here. This is a westbound 101 pursuit out of Pasadena. Now, this is a large vehicle, Stu. I wonder, how do the police approach as far as, you know, if they eventually do a pit maneuver on such a large vehicle? How have they tried to do that in the past? Are you aware?
Well, you know, the size of the vehicles, it is something they always think about. But, you know, it's basically just kind of inertia. That expedition that they have right there, Explorer, that Explorer they have right there will be enough to push that rear end out from behind it. But they're not going to do anything like that with speeds this fast. And it was very dangerous. You saw some of those workers out there jumping out of the way, hearing those lights and sirens. This vehicle, very large, but it is known to be maneuverable. It's a Tahoe, probably about a 2000 or so, so it could be it's probably a V8. And this vehicle really moving along out here. It's kind of picked up very, very quickly as it made its way through that construction area. The construction part has been cleared. We're out of that area, and now you can see that it is pretty much open lanes out here. Vehicle really starting to move and get some speed. You can see how quickly they're passing the other vehicles out here. That's also very dangerous. We don't know the mental condition of the driver. Makes it very, very dangerous for anybody on the streets, and obviously the driver of that vehicle. I want any of the viewers to know that this person has no idea we are watching them. It isn't like we're right there. They can't see us, they can't hear us. But she does know officers are following her. There's lights and sirens going on. The helicopter, actually the Pasadena PD, you can see there is no light on it right now. That helicopter had to pull off. So right now there is no airship overhead, but there are plenty of officers from the California Highway Patrol following this person. Mentally unstable, that's a word that you don't want to just toss around, but there were some issues that created this the entire event. So she's still moving along here. Pretty good clip. I would guess we're probably going 100 plus is what I'm hearing right now. And we're if we were in the Calabasas area, we're pretty much getting our way out of that, entering the West Lake area. And right now this car's still moving along. Officers from California Highway Patrol in pursuit started in Pasadena.
And you know what, it's interesting, Stu, because she sure is maneuvering this vehicle to have those mental issues that we've been talking about. And as she moves toward, as I say, she could take the 23, or she could just take this all the way to Camarillo and even head to the Santa Barbara area. That's getting a little ahead of ourselves. But if she doesn't stop, those are just the possibilities for her. They seem to know who this person is, since you said that they know that it was possibly some kind of domestic dispute. So be interesting to see if she lives in that area, if she could possibly be going to a home or a residence that she's familiar with, as we've seen in so many cases. But we don't know that yet, do we?
You know, we don't, and I would believe, I'm not, again, just not 100%, would believe that this all took place in the Pasadena area. Possibly this person living in Pasadena just got on the freeway and basically just been moving westbound ever since. West on the 210, west on the 134, and then obviously west on the 101. Moving very, very quickly, but now just as soon as I said that, she is moving way off to the right. We are going to be approaching the 23 here shortly, but then there's also some off-ramps that she could be taking. The vehicle moving very, very quickly. California Highway Patrol probably weighing what you just talked about. You brought up some very excellent points. This person distressed, this person might have some mental issues, and so maybe perhaps backing off might be the better deal, but they do want to keep the public safe. They do want to keep this person safe. If she is might cause harm to herself, they're going to try to prevent that as well. This vehicle moving very, very quickly. A Tahoe, probably about the 2000s, and moving very, very fast out here. We've seen it being very maneuverable, but high speeds like that, it clips a corner, hits the car. This could be very dramatic and very problematic for any of the other vehicles out here. I'm going to get a little bit wider, but you can see how fast this car is going, and you get an idea that the officers from the California Highway Patrol, along with Pasadena PD, have basically fallen back a little bit right now. So maybe they're giving her a little bit of that room, but trying to keep the public warned about what's going on. They will not try to do a pit maneuver. I can guarantee you that, especially at these high speeds on the freeway. Moving westbound 101 freeway, I'm going to get you across here pretty soon, but I can tell you we're going to be approaching the 23 very shortly.
It's interesting how this individual who is breaking all kinds of laws, who is in the middle of a police pursuit, has the frame of mind to use the turn signal to change lanes, and yet this is a police pursuit that's happening right now in the westbound 101. It started in Pasadena. Just to get our viewers up to speed here, we're following this pursuit of a vehicle, a Tahoe, an SUV, a large SUV, going anywhere from 80 to 100 plus miles an hour, Pat, and this all started in Pasadena not too long ago with what they thought was a female in some sort of domestic dispute.
Yes, and you're right, traveling from the 210 freeway to the 134. I believe the last Stu spoke, he said this was an Explorer, a Ford Explorer, but still a large SUV, that's
might
for
be
sure.
The police car that's following them.
All right, well, so let's go back to the Tahoe then. And with the left turn signal on, and again, some kind of stress that this person, a female, apparently is in possibly a dispute with a family member. We know it's dark out here, especially as she's going toward, I keep mentioning the 23 because that's the next freeway that she can take, but she could take this all the way past Camarillo to Santa Barbara, go through Oxnard first if she would like to, but there are a number of streets that she can exit from. Doesn't seem to be the case, especially with that left turn signal that she has on there, but as Stu mentioned, They turned off the lights overhead, the chopper light overhead, but they are following her from behind. But she still seems to be going at a rapid amount of speed right now, and she has most of the freeway to herself, because at this time of night, where she is now, past Topanga Canyon, past Parkway Calabasas, traffic is pretty free-flowing.
Yeah, Pasadena Police, the lead agency. We know CHP also involved in this chase. Again, this started in Pasadena, has gone through Sherman Oaks and Tarzana, and as we see here, has gone through Westlake and now in Agora Hills. So this is westbound of the 101. Let's go back up to Stu with any information. Stu, I know that you continue to listen to what police are saying about this. What's the latest update?
Well, yeah, Jeff, Pat, sadly, the latest update is Sky 2. We've been up all for quite a long time. We were scouring down in the Orange County and out in the Corona area for news. We were actually working our way back to the valley when this started. The bottom line is we are low on fuel. My pilot and I are talking about what we can do, how long we can stay. We are down to minutes. There's a possibility that we might be able to get some fuel out in the Ventura area and then maybe be able to continue on. But right now, safety is #1 issue in any type of aviation, so we are talking about that. This pursuit, though, continues on here. 101 freeway, you can see the speeds really picking up right now. I believe we're approaching the 23, and it does seem like she is getting off, or going to be changing lanes out here as she's choosing the far right lanes. Very, very high speeds, and on a turn like this, it could become a real problem. Slowing down a little bit, you can see those brake lights are on right now. That Chevy Tahoe, big vehicle, very well built, and of course, designed to be very drivable. But see this movement right there on these transition roads, very, very fast. She's continuing on right now. 23 is what it looks like we're going to be taking right now. Looks like northbound 23, as we're going to be working our way out of the Westlake area, and then we're going to be working our way now north out into the Simi area if this continues on. The vehicle speeds still well into almost the 100 mile an hour, well up into the 90s and 80s and 90s. You can see how fast this vehicle is moving past all these other vehicles out here. California Highway Patrol still chasing her. Mental issues, that's what they've been talking about since the beginning. Possible domestic violence, possibly this vehicle used to try to injure other family members earlier on in the Pasadena area. Just getting a little bit of a wider shot there as I show you this vehicle working its way now northbound on the 23. If you know this area, it is very dark out here, kind of windy. It's going to loop around. You're going to get, if they stay on the freeways, you're going to get onto the 118, taking you through the Simi Valley area. Right now, though, this vehicle just moving very, very quickly. Hasn't been doing anything too dramatic. We have noticed the blinkers and the courteous driving as this pursuit continues right now. It's changing lanes, but it still goes on. And it looks like we're probably going to have to make our way back to Van Nuys for fuel, as there's not much more out here for Sky 2.
No, seems like you would, I don't know about the Oxnard area, Stu, out there at the base. That's pretty distant from where you are right now. It's just interesting to me, again, as you say, he's not driving so erratically, and it's to see her make the moves that she's made and really not have an accident by now, or even overturn that Tahoe says something about her driving ability, I guess you could say that. Again, the police behind, CHP following her, the chopper overhead, they have their lights off, and of course Stu and Sky 2, they need to go gas up again. This may go for, who knows, she can go through the Simi Valley area and just continue until she runs out of gas, as we have seen happen so many times in these cases. Now, I wonder if there's a possibility, Stu, would they possibly, there she is, she's getting in the right lane right now. Looks like she's about to exit, Stu.
She's just kind of moving off to the right lane. We're moving through the north still on the 23. So this is still 23. She's got to make a couple more big turns before she gets up to the Los Angeles Street area, then onto the 118 if she stays on the freeway. That light right there, you could. I thought I could read green. That sign. Sorry, it moved too quickly for me.
No, it said green road.
But still moving along. We're actually moving away from it already. We already started heading back to Van Nuys right now, just using that camera. We're going to stay with it as long as we can, obviously, but right now fuel is an issue for us, and we need to get back to Van Nuys for fuel.
Okay, let's just update real quick with our viewers here on CBS2. You're looking at the live pictures here of a pursuit on the westbound 101 up to 100 miles per hour as this started in Pasadena earlier tonight. It was some sort of domestic dispute where the female driver in an SUV used that vehicle to try to injure somebody. That's when police got involved. Then that started in Pasadena, got onto the 101 westbound, went through Sherman Oaks, Tarzana, Westlake Village, Agora Hills, and I think it's, Pat, now in the Thousand Oaks area, and
that's what our graphic says, Thousand
Yeah.
Oaks area, and of course she can go on to through the Simi Valley if she takes the 118, or she could continue on to Camarillo, then to Oxnard, and possibly all the way to Santa Barbara if she has a full tank of gas.
Sure.
We don't know that right now. And as we mentioned, our shot is getting a little distant because Sky 2 has to go and refuel, but she seems to have pretty much the freeway to herself, not that much traffic out there. They will not do a pit maneuver because of the size of that vehicle, and don't know if they can possibly do a spike strip further up the freeway if they were able to stop traffic maybe and do something there. But it looks like they might let this person run its course simply because she has not been driving so erratically, and there doesn't appear to be a danger to any vehicles or people at this time. And if you're looking at our picture, get a little bit more distant, well, that's unfortunately we have to go refuel, and we're just trying to take the shot as far as we can that our camera will allow us. And it looks like it might be time. Now we're going to stay with this for just a little while longer, folks, but as you can see, the CHP is behind, far enough behind where you don't even see anyone close up on her tail, and the lights overhead, the chopper lights are off. Hopefully something might click that they're not actually pursuing her as much, or trying not to put as much attention on her with that light shining overhead, but they're going to stay with her.
Yeah, and they got, looks like they have 3 units right now behind them, and that includes Pasadena Police and CHP as they continue to pursue this SUV with a female driver, Chevy Tahoe, with a connection to a domestic dispute that happened in Pasadena. Possibly, police say that SUV may have been used to try to injure somebody, so that's how they got involved. They were talking about 80, 90 miles per hour. Then not too long ago, that got clocked up to about 100 plus miles an hour, and I think that might be the rate of speed that she's going now, is that she continues to just overtake a number of vehicles there. There's light traffic, but she continues to overtake all the vehicles there in that roadway. And
well, you have to wonder if people can probably hear the sirens themselves and see the flashing lights and figure, okay, something's going on here. From what we understand, we believe, she's on the eastbound 118 freeway, so she is going to the Simi Valley area. She's going to pick up maybe a few businesses in Simi Valley that still may provide some light, but still not as much at this time of night. It's still going to be relatively or more not as well lit as, of course, being in the city. And the further out she goes, then the lights will probably be even fewer and fewer. Stu, can you still talk to us right now, sir?
Oh, most definitely. What we've done with Sky 2 right now is we've climbed extremely high, up high. We're about 5,500 feet above the ground right now, so that gives us that eagle eye type of view. It's actually behind us right now. We're still working our way out to Van Nuys, pretty much almost directly under us. We're almost at the Santa Susana Pass. This pursuit is behind us, working its way eastbound on the 118 freeway, definitely established into the Simi Valley area. We did see the California Highway Patrol and was listening. We've talked about it in the past. They have divisions just like LAPD or any other law enforcement or the Sheriff's Department, and they actually did a handoff. So now this is going to be the California Highway Patrol. There's going to be one of the Simi Valley units behind it right now. You can see those lights and sirens. You can see that Tahoe. It was going about 100 miles an hour at some points there, especially when it made that turn. It's established onto the 118 off of the 23. Right now, though, it has slowed down a little bit, as I'm hearing. Its speed's about 80 to 90 miles an hour, but it's still eluding officers, has definitely not stopped. And, you know, it has made a big giant circle. You know, 210, the Pasadena area, worked its way through the valley, out into the west areas out there, almost the beach cities, and then turned around and got onto the 23 and started working its way 23 to the 118, and now eastbound, heading back to the way we came. I'm going to talk, yeah, there we go. That's our landing lights, actually. Like I said, we're shooting out the back of the helicopter right now and keeping an eye on it, but we're moving along the best we can. It's actually approaching us, but that all being said, we really are getting bingo on fuel, and we are working our way now. We're starting to drop down. If we can, we'll get some fuel and get back up ASAP.
Just want to pick up on something that you said, Stu, in terms of she could be going back the way she came. She could take the 118 back to the 405, right, and then circle back around. That is a possibility.
Oh, that most definitely is a possibility. 118 over to the 5 and just jump back onto the 210. There's so many different ways that she can do it right now, and she could be making this big giant loop. We've seen that so often where they basically run and then just run back home. Right now, though, I can tell you we are well established in the West Valley, and we have to drop down because of the airspace out here. You have to understand we have to follow rules. What's actually just happened right there is it's behind a hillside. So we are going to be unable to follow along right now, and we're going to be getting fuel, and hopefully we can get back up and maybe at least see the end of this pursuit. Yeah,
we'll continue to follow this situation here, Stu. Thank you so much, as our chopper has to go get some fuel, but we'll just continue to follow this story, which is breaking right now.
We're going to go back to Stu Mundell. He is back in the air after refueling in Van Nuys. And Stu, let's hear it. Okay. Well, we know that's the shot from Sky 2. So he is back on the air.
I'm sorry about that.
There he is.
Westbound 118, just passing Balboa. We were using the helicopter's camera this time to catch up to it. Right now, it's just approaching the 405 freeway. You can see this vehicle still keeping those speeds. We've been listening to the California Highway Patrol. This truck's staying about the 100 mile an hour. That was the 405 that we just crossed under right there, staying on the 118 freeway. Going to be in the Granada Hills area right now. Going to be working our way along 118. Now it does dead end into the 210. This freeway, this pursuit continues on as the California Highway Patrol goes. And you can watch us on the web.
That's absolutely right. Thanks for that, Stu Mundell. You can go to cbsla.com to watch this. Thanks for joining us. And those of you who stayed up late last night saw the end of a wild chase that ended with a woman stripping down naked before police arrested her. CBS 2's Joy Benedict is live in Pasadena, where it all started. Joy, this was certainly a bizarre one.
It was definitely a bizarre chase, and it ended all the way in downtown. We are live right now at the Pasadena Police Department. That is where this woman is in custody after leading officers through multiple cities and ending, as you said, in an unexpected way. The chase itself started earlier in Pasadena after officers say they got a call around 10:30 saying that the woman had attempted to run over her parents with her car. Pasadena officers pursued her for a while but chose to stop chasing since they knew who she was. The CHP, though, picked up the chase from there, but then also stopped pursuing. The woman was then spotted trying to get into a bar downtown. Well, obviously, she was eventually arrested, despite the fact that she wasn't wearing any clothes. She is now housed in custody. She's being held on a variety of charges, including assault with a deadly weapon. Obviously, more to come on this story as the day develops and we learn a little bit more about what happened. And officers say they haven't confirmed yet whether drugs or alcohol played a factor in this entire incident. Amy.
All right. Thanks, Joy.